All right, one of our customers, John Coates, posted these questions on our Facebook page, kind of surrounding why he's an entrepreneur looking to start his own business. He wanted to know how we got started. And instead of taking the time to type them out because, typing's so fun, thought we'd just do a quick video so everyone could see the questions, because we actually get these questions quite often. And Nick's behind the camera over there, and he's going to go ahead and ask them, and we'll just answer them.
All right, question number one. Why did you decide to start your own business?
All right, so as an entrepreneur, I think you always see needs all around you, right? So you see a need over here, you see a need over here, and I think some people are just inclined to look at ways to fill the needs. And the reason why screen printing was kind of turned into a need was, first of all, we had a band and we printed our own t-shirts, but more so, like Cobb, who actually is the sales manager at Ryonet now, actually asked me and Brandon, our band, to show him how to print his own t-shirts. We had to raise money to go on a tour, and figured out, hey, if Cobb's band wants to do it, maybe other bands want to do it, and put a t-shirt kit, how to print shirts on eBay. It sold, and a couple others sold, and that eventually turned into having a website, which is now silkscreensupplies.com, and starting Ryonet.
Question number two, what planning did you do before you started?
All right, planning. Yeah, what's that again, right? Planning, I don't know, we didn't do a lot of planning. I think with the extent of planning that we did, I was 23 years old at the time, was literally like, all right, what supplies, what do I have at hand, and how am I going to take what I have to sell it? So finding what you had and then going to sell it. Obviously, when it turned into more of a business, kind of setting up some more systems on okay, we need more than just one or two products to sell online. So sourcing products, there was definitely planning involved in it. It took about 3 months to build that website. There was only 30 products to start out with. So definitely knowing who you're going to sell your customer to, doing the research on your customer, knowing how they look for things, whether that be online or in a local market, is extremely important. That's really to the extent of planning. So product sourcing, and then kind of understanding the online market for silkscreensupplies.com.
Next question, question three. Did you need to secure outside funding to start the business? And have you secured outside funding since then?
Well, to start the company, it was basically started from scratch. So no funding whatsoever, with the exception that to purchase the website platform, my dad gave me a short-term loan on his credit card. And then from there, buying all the products and everything was just done. We funded our business. It's been funded pretty much primarily off of sales. So funded off of, growth off of growth. And as you grow a business, definitely not taking out a lot of money to begin with is a good advantage. Sometimes it's a bit limiting, but we were very fortunate, in fact, and I would consider us lucky to be able to fund our growth based off of sales. Now, we do have funding now. We have credit lines, and we've purchased buildings and big pieces of capital equipment for manufacturing purposes. But for about the first 4 years of the business, we were pretty much liquid and profitable based off of cash, and that was all funded off of transactions we were doing sales-wise.
What are the biggest challenges you have faced?
So challenges we would face would be dealing with growth and dealing with change. And I think one of the biggest challenges any business faces is learning. Learning how to run your business, learning how to run systems that will run your business and make it expandable. As you start out with just one person, or as you start out with one or two people, things work pretty easily because you're relying on yourself. You're relying on a person. An organizational or business system is developed off of three items. You have your item, which a lot of times is a software program, or if you're, for instance, a shipping company, your items might be a truck or something like that facilitates your process. Then you have your processes, which are how you get things done in your business, and you have the people. Well, when you're a small business just starting, or an entrepreneur, you can rely on the person, which is you, to do everything, because everything's up in your head and you know how to do everything. But as you grow and expand in business, putting processes in place, having good systems, items like trucking systems, or a screen printing press, or a software ERP system to run things in the background is extremely important. And that's probably one of the more difficult things for us. Is we have great people here at Ryonet, but our systems aren't, solidified, especially since we've grown so much. So redeveloping those systems and putting support mechanisms behind those systems has been difficult to stay ahead of. It feels like we're constantly catching up, which is a good thing. Growth is a good thing to deal with. But if you can be ahead of the game, that's better. So a little bit more planning and a little bit more process development in the front goes a long way As you start, envision where you're going, not where you are right now, and put things in place. Imagine yourself not doing it. And that's probably one of my biggest faults as I started is I always imagine myself doing it and still do, for some things today. So if you can picture your process or your business without you doing it, and all you're doing is you're wearing a hat to facilitate that process, whether it be printing behind a press or quoting a job or designing artwork, if you can facilitate a process around somebody else doing that, then you're going to be way far, advanced in the future.
What do you enjoy most about managing your business and why?
So management, the most important part to us, I think, is like people. It's really cool to see teams develop, to see a culture develop, and to help manage that growth and manage, things. We started out with one person and now we have 75 here around it, and it's cool to see that team grow. And helping to facilitate the process, to facilitate the systems around that is pretty fun.
What do you dislike most about running a small business and why?
Running a small business, probably the most frustrating part is when things don't go right. So kind of going back to like when processes break down or when you don't have processes, or when your system fails or you don't have a good enough system. That's not only frustrating for me, it's frustrating for our customers, it's frustrating for our people. Our people here around our team, our number one goal is to service our customers. And when sometimes systems break down that don't allow us to service our customers to the best of our customers' needs, that's extremely frustrating for everyone involved. So as a small business, it's like, once again, harder to put those processes in place. You look at huge companies like UPS and FedEx and McDonald's, they have everything down to the T, but sometimes they even make mistakes. So I think if you focus, I heard Jeff Bezos say this from Amazon, is, no matter what the business is, you're always going to make mistakes, but if you always keep your focus customer-centric, that a lot of times covers up some of the systems that break down from time to time. But it is the overall frustrations, that's probably one of the most frustrating things, is to realize you can't do everything perfectly all the time.
What are the most critical skills, knowledge, and attributes required to successfully run a small business?
So skills, knowledge, and attributes. So skills would be knowing how business works. Going into business without any clue of how business works is, it's like a crapshoot. So if you can take some courses or do some studying on how a business works, especially a screen printing business in the business market, we actually have some resources available here at Ryonet to help facilitate that. There's tons of courses you can take for like accounting and understanding basic accounting works. It's extremely important. Attributes would be hard work. There's the law of 10,000 hours, right? So if you really want to get good at something, you're going to spend a lot of time practicing doing that. And realizing that it's not just hard work, it's also working smart too. So being efficient at what you're doing is also key. And then just keeping at it, keeping your dream alive and not giving up. Because if you never give up, if you never give up, the road never ends for you and you never fail because you're always moving forward in some way or the other.
How has small business ownership affected your lifestyle?
Well, without starting a business, when I used to run business, like really, really small businesses, t-shirt printing or mole extermination or, window washing, it gives you freedoms that you wouldn't necessarily have working at a job. So you have freedom to manage your own schedule, to maybe make money quickly, to be able to kind of do your own thing. So that's a huge freedom in owning a business, but there's also a lot of, the security goes out the window, because you're not exactly sure what you're going to do the next time. But really, if you think about it in life, what's really secure, right? Anything could change at a moment. So you really kind of create your own security. And I think it's kind of the advantage of owning your own business and owning a small business is you have the ability to create. You kind of are in control of your destiny. So as far as lifestyle goes, having a successful business and growing a business obviously has a lot of positive aspects too, and realizing that you can have things in your life that you wanted, dreams that you've had as a little kid being achieved. Things like we have kids and my wife doesn't have to go to work. She can stay at home if she wants to and watch the kids, even though sometimes she doesn't want to. But it gives you the flexibility both financially and freedom-wise, even though you are tied to a business because it's ultimately your responsibility to make sure that you facilitate the need for your customer. But there's as you grow and as you achieve success, you will realize that. And if you can put systems in place and grow your business so it can expand without you, then you can have the freedom portion too.
What advice would you give a person contemplating entrepreneurship?
Well, be passionate about what you do. There's a book called Good to Great, and it talks about how companies take, the leap from a good company to a great company, and give some case studies. And one of the things that they really focus on is your hedgehog concept. What the hedgehog concept is basically the idea of there's a hedgehog and it does one thing really, really good. And it basically, when it gets attacked, it curls up into a ball and protects itself. So your hedgehog concept surrounds off of three circles. One is what can you be the best in the world at? What are you passionate about, and what is financially viable for you? So realizing those three things, and that whatever you're going into, there's financial opportunity and gain for. You're passionate about it, and you have the ability to rock the marketplace with it. And your marketplace might just be your backyard. It might be your town. It might be the world. It might be the United States. It might be online. It might be a specific niche within the t-shirt industry, but knowing that before you jump into it, especially the passion part, is extremely key.
What are some of the most important lessons you've learned?
You're going to pay for education. And whether you pay for your own education, or whether you hire that education, or whether you go get educated, one way or the other, you're going to learn it. And if you're paying for your own education based off of trial and error, could cost a lot of money. And we've paid for our own education, and we've had an extremely expensive business education as we've grown in business. But knowing the background of it and maintaining like a growing business that can maintain profitability, we've been very lucky. And but I think you're going to pay for education one way or the other. So surrounding yourself with the right ideas as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, doing research, doing learning, growing yourself as a person, growing yourself as a leader now versus later on down the road is going to pay dividends extremely, multiple times versus other investments that you might make with your time or your money.
What type of person should choose not to become an entrepreneur, and why?
If you're not willing to work hard, don't run your own business. If you get stressed out, very easily, it might not be a good fit for you. You have to be able to run with the fact that things might not always pan out, and you're not always going to have the most secure thing on your feet. But that also opens up you for more opportunities. So the more risk, the more reward. And if you can calculate the risk out, then you can kind of have the best of both worlds and just go for it, and know that even though this is a little risky, the reward's definitely worth the risk, and the payout's going to be there.
What is stressful about being a small business owner? How can one minimize that?
Well, dealing with stress is it's pretty hard for a lot of leaders in organizations, whether it's a small business owner that's one guy or a CEO that's running a company of hundreds of people. You have a lot of things in your life and in your business that are going to really weigh on you. And I think Tony Robbins said this, is every person deals with stress and has problems. Successful people, and think about big successful CEOs that write books, and you look at them as kind of icons of industry, or even successful leaders throughout the course of history. Think of the problems that they had, like Abraham Lincoln. Think of all the problems that he had running a country in the midst of a civil war, and how he dealt with those problems with his stress. And you always are going to have problems in life. The bigger you get, the more successful you get, the more problems you're going to have. It's just really how you deal with those problems. So for me personally, dealing with stress, focusing on personal growth, physically, mentally, and as a leader has been the best way to deal with stress. I'm less stressed out now running a company that's 25 times the size of when we started, because focusing on myself as a leader, doing things like leadership development groups and books and exercise. Exercise is a huge thing. Running every morning, getting you started for the day, working out at night to release all that tension throughout the day is a big, big deal.
What failures have taught you the most, and why?
Failures, the ones that have cost a lot of money end up teaching pretty good lessons, because they obviously money's a good motivating factor, and not to have that happen again. So making sure that if you're going to invest in something, you know what you're investing in. We've bought in things in the past like accounting systems and different businesses and partnered with people that have not been the best partners to be with and not been the best systems to buy. And we really didn't do the best research beforehand and really didn't do due diligence beforehand. And as a result, ended up wasting a lot of money and a lot of time, had a lot of problems because of it. So now, learning the right questions to ask, the quality of questions that you ask really determines the quality of your operation, the quality of your decision. If you're not asking questions, then you're not going to get the answers that you need to make decisions. So making sure that you ask enough questions, that you really make informed decisions, would be the thing that I would say.
What keeps you awake at night?
Actually sleep pretty good, but I think running new ideas, and when there's new ideas that come into play, and actually wanting to go working on them, a lot of times what I'll do is I just end up staying late working on fun ideas, and then get really tired and just crash, so I don't stay awake. But a lot of times, I think when I was a kid, I would literally stay up half the night dreaming, just dreaming of things that I wanted to do, dreaming of girls, dreaming of whatever, just running dreams of scenarios through my head. And now I guess I do that a lot less because I get to live them. I get to actually, facilitate action to go get those dreams. And that just makes me sleep pretty good, actually.
What do you feel most proud about?
My kids, I definitely like having a family, and having kids is amazing. And when you go through that in life, I'm sure like many of you have, is just an amazing thing that you have the responsibility to raise children that are going to be someday greater than you could be. And that's really exciting and makes me really proud to have that family and be able to provide a cool opportunity and future for that family. But also, how many people we've helped start screen printing and how many people we've helped become successful and seeing our customers really grow is extremely proud. It's very, very fun industry. I get asked all the time, like, why don't you ever get out of this? Like, you could sell your company for a lot of money, or don't you get bored? So Steve Jobs said this quote, and I think we've posted it on our Facebook page, as something like, being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me, but going to bed at night realizing or knowing that we did something wonderful that day, that's what matters to me. And I think that's what really is fun about what we do here, is that we're helping people out and helping them be successful screen printers or in business, and helping our team grow and develop as a company, as a team, is a lot of fun and really, really gratifying, and makes me extremely proud. And that's why I don't think, at least for now, in the short term or even long-term future, it really even attracts me to leave this industry and leave this business, because there's so much more opportunity to do that.
What has surprised you the most about your experience?
Well, what really surprised me the most is the vast opportunity in the screen printing industry. I mean, it's huge for printers, for worldwide, domestically, for clothing lines, and hearing success stories from customers that have really just done amazing things, and seeing how many people are buying screen printing supplies, presses, and all the way from the hobby level to the people printing for Nike. It's phenomenal. I had no clue what this industry was until actually stepping into it, and even realizing how much bigger it is than we're at right now.
If you had to do it over again, would you still be an entrepreneur? Why? And what would you change about it?
So yeah, obviously it's been a lot of fun and extremely passionate about it, and I've had success too. So I think once you've realized success and you realize that you can do something, do it. You can figure out how to do things over and over again. And as far as changing about it, yeah, we've made some mistakes, and we've kind of covered those a little bit, things that we had done differently. But it's kind of like messing with the secret sauce. You don't know. I kind of believe in luck in a way, and even though you get lucky sometimes, that's the road that you traveled to get where you're at today. And the mistakes that we make now, or the decisions that we make now, will lead us on a road for the future that's going to lead to some pretty cool places. So it wouldn't really change anything.
Are there any problems or roadblocks specific to screen printing that you encountered early on that you didn't expect? If so, how did you overcome them?
In screen printing specifically, exposing a screen the right way, learning how to use photoemulsion, off contact, and really the best way we overcome them was learning how to do it the right way from people who knew how to do it the right way. So we were able to hire really, really good screen printers that had worked for Nike and big companies, did a lot of research and development that taught us how to screen print the right way. And wow, it's a huge difference.
What have you learned about advertising to connect with potential customers?
Advertising is a lot of fun, and a lot of people look at our company and say, wow, you guys just, I can't believe how well you know how to market and everything like that. And to us as a company, I think we'd say that we just like to have fun and connect with customers, figure out what they're looking for in their supplier, what they're looking for in the content that they want to see, the videos and things of that nature, and just have fun doing it. Be passionate about it and share knowledge. Sharing knowledge is huge. People love to learn things. So that's one of the reasons why I feel we've been successful, is sharing the knowledge of screen printing and business and such. Well, thank you for asking those questions and kind of engaging us, and it's a lot of fun to share your story, and hopefully you can develop your own story as you grow in business and as an entrepreneur. Good luck.